Baldurs Gate, Arbiter's Mark. If you liked Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre, this may be the game for you. Literally, the game's Steam description even says the same thing. Look, available from PlayStation 4, Xbox One and up, Nintendo Switch and PC. Baldurs Gate uses the grid-based maps I'm sure you're well aware of in this genre. Now the main issue here is something you might have already seen. The art style is rather divisive. Yes, let's just say that. And the attack animations are lackluster. However, those are the only aspects I can fault it on. It has an interesting story and fun gameplay to make up for that. You play as Kyrie in this game. I hope that's how you say it. An arbiter that upholds the law and follows the immortals as their agent. But corruption is spreading amongst the Order, and she takes it upon herself to challenge it. There is also a class system that really leans into crafting your dream character, giving you free reign to design your generic units and even use custom portraits for them. It's actually rather scary how close I was able to make Brock from Pokemon. He can even catch monsters! It scratched that itch I didn't know Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced left me with. There is one piece of DLC for Baldurs Gate, and I would say it is worth it, adding many things to the game such as the ability to recruit and use monsters, as well as more glorious job classes. Troubleshooter, Abandoned Children. This is a big game, with systems within systems. If you want a game to really sink your teeth into, you have found it. Available on PC currently, you play as a troubleshooter named Elvis. A troubleshooter being what is essentially a government-sponsored vigilante. Elvis starts his own company of troubleshooters, recruiting a wide variety of eclectic party members, and things snowball from there. Gameplay-wise, it is similar to XCom, but more anime, with deep character builds available, and also the ability to tame animals or build robots. The maps are rather large and feature different weather and terrain that affect gameplay, as well as the option to take cover. This game is from Korean devs, and the translation of the game is rather good overall, but does have slight issues here and there. However, this game is constantly seeing updates, so it is getting better all the time. Troubleshooter Abandoned Children also has a lot of DLC, most of it being costumes or art books and soundtracks. There are some DLC that continues the story after the game, so maybe take a look at that if it interests you. Marvel's Midnight Suns. XCom meets Slay the Spire meets Persona? That is the closest I can get to describing this game. Essentially, the combat of XCom mixed with Slay the Spire and the social elements of Persona. It's not that to a T, but close enough. It is available on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X and S. You create your own custom character in Midnight Suns. The essential story is that you're called upon to help stop your demonic mother, who has teamed up with Hydra, but you get your own team of superheroes, ranging from Iron Man to Spider-Man or Ghost Rider. Combat takes place in a small battlefield where you use 3 heroes, which can include your custom created character. Each hero has cards that act as abilities for them, and you draw them randomly from a deck. You get some build variety in how you can customize your heroes' movesets, as well as trying to build synergies between your 3-person squad. The combat is honestly great, satisfying and cinematic. The social elements are where people are very divided. Some enjoy it, many don't. Spending time hanging out with the heroes can be fun, but occasionally wears thin. It really depends on the person playing it, I guess. But I really enjoy this game, and hanging out with Spider-Man and Wolverine is cool. Blade's Book Club? Maybe less so. There is a season pass that adds extra story and 4 more characters for your team, as well as costumes. However, it is very expensive and rarely goes on sale, so I would recommend the Legendary Edition of the game on sale. It goes on sale more often and at quite a steep discount. Wasteland 3. The third entry in the Wasteland series, but that's okay. This game takes place in an entirely new region compared to the first 2. Your mission is to acquire aid for your organization from the self-styled dictator that rules Colorado. But first, you must complete a task given to you by him, or betray him. There is a lot of choice here. Wasteland 3 is available on PC and from the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and up. Another party-based tactical game. But what I am really fond of is creating my own party members. There is a circus-free quirk that makes a character look like a clown. I made Harley Quinn and gave her a big melee weapon. There are many ways to build your characters, with different weapons specializations, ranging from pistols to explosives, or even up close and personal punching. This is a dark and brutal game that often slips into absurdity, such as freeing elves from a Gatling gun wielding Santa Claus. Be prepared for a lot of dark humor. Think a semi-XCom kind of game set in a bizarre post-apocalypse world. There are 2 pieces of DLC for Wasteland 3 that give story content. Opinions are divided on them, but they are there. Triangle Strategy. The game was gorgeous HD 2D design. Triangle Strategy is brought to you by the team behind Octopath Traveler and the Bravely series. Available on PC and Nintendo Switch. There is glorious combat and a lot of story. Like a lot. So maybe take that into consideration when contemplating this game. Story-wise, it takes place on Norzelia, where 3 powers rule. A fragile balance of power has been achieved, but a certain incident threatens to throw the continent once more into war. You can see where this is going. A game with a heavy emphasis on story and politics. It still has good gameplay, but the combat to story ratio may leave some unsatisfied or frustrated. Just keep that in mind. There is no standard class system in Triangle Strategy for the most part, but every character you recruit seems to have their own unique class that can be upgraded to different levels, and you get a lot of characters. Now this is where it gets even more interesting. There is a sort of morality system called convictions with 3 different values: morality, liberty, and utility. These affect how you progress through the story and which characters you can recruit. Further, you can't just make important decisions yourself. It is voted upon by your allies, so you must convince them to support your choice. If you don't, well, sometimes the choice will be taken out of your hands. There is no DLC other than an art book for Triangle Strategy. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Pick your flavor of awesome power fantasy. Lead an army against a demonic incursion set in the Pathfinder universe, or wield the might of a trade empire in the grim Warhammer 40k universe. Both developed by Owlcat Games. The choice is yours, and that is all I'm going to say about the story. Just one would be quite an explanation, not doing both. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous is available on PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X and S, as well as Nintendo Switch via cloud, while Rogue Trader is available on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. You can meticulously craft your own build as well as your party members. This goes deep in both games, with many difficulty settings. You can customize your playthrough to your own taste. Your choices can have very real consequences in these games, depending on the path you choose, such as choosing to become a dragon or even a lich in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, while in Rogue Trader you can choose to serve the Emperor or fall into chaos. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous features 2 combat modes, real-time with pause or turn-based, while Rogue Trader features only turn-based. Really, the choice is up to you on which you pick, or both. Both is good. Wilderness. This is a tough nut to describe. A very unique game with 2D paper-like character art as well as grid-based maps. Available on PC, your characters can actually die in this game or be transformed in weird and wacky ways. They even age. Since this is a procedural generated game, while the campaign you selected follows specific story beats, everything else is fair game, including your characters' relationships. You can form rivalries or friendships or even get romantic. There is even a rather interesting take on magic in this game. I find it quite imaginative. There is also cooperative multiplayer with up to 5 people. Imagine the chaos and things you can get up to in this game with that. Fire Emblem Three Houses or Fire Emblem Engage. Available on the Nintendo Switch. Another double option. Both provide very different reasons to play. Fire Emblem Engage is definitely prettier and more vibrant. It just looks better. Combat is also better. Compared to Three Houses, which excluded it, Engage returns a weapon triangle, so specific weapons have the advantage over others. Engage also gets rid of the weapon durability feature Three Houses had, while including a new weapon breaking system in combat. Strangely enough, you don't break your enemy's weapon, but knock it out of your opponent's hands if you have the weapon advantage. However, where Three Houses holds the advantage is story and replayability. The story is better and more nuanced, while giving you 4 different routes in the game, so there are 4 different endings, which beefs up the replayability drastically. Overall, both games are good, they just have different strengths and weaknesses, and there's a decent amount of DLC for both games. Disgaea 7. Vows of the Virtueless. Out of all the games on this list, this one is probably the most insane. And yes, I am counting the game with a Gatling gun-wielding Santa as less absurd than this. Available on PlayStation 4, 5, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. With grid-based maps and over-the-top moves, this game scales heavily into various parodies and just pure absurdity. As for being the 7th mainline entry, you don't really need to worry about playing catch-up. Most of the mainline games feature different main casts and is set in a different netherworld. Netherworlds being these demonic realms. There are a lot of reoccurring characters from past games, however. Unfortunately, most of them as DLC. The Disgaea series is also known for its many ways to level up and customize characters and equipment. There are various classes in the game, and higher tier ranks to those classes, which requires you to reset that character back to level 1 to reach. Doesn't sound like much until you realize the level cap is 9,999. Damage numbers can get absurd. So if you like twisted humor, grinding, customization, and absurdity, then this game is for you. Digimon Survive. Released on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Okay, this may be the most controversial game on the list, which is why I left it for last. But it is my list, and I like this game. Also, I just like Digimon. On to why this might be a controversial pick. Digimon Survive is essentially 80% visual novel and 20% tactical RPG. Get ready for a lot of text. There is also an alignment system that influences the story as well as which evolution line your partner Digimon, Agumon, follows. Now, this game got surprisingly dark for Digimon. I know there are some moments in the show and movies, but this really kicks it up a notch. I was a bit shocked at the pervading sense of tension in the story and specific moments. Once more, a grid-based map with fun battles, if a bit basic. The partner Digimon can digivolve mid-battle, but you can also use Digimon you recruited, which, when evolved, permanently stay that way. I do wish they had a larger roster of Digimon. Digimon Survive is for those that desire a good dark Digimon story with some tactical RPG sprinkled in. If that is to your taste, you might just like this game. Those are the modern tactical RPGs I would recommend you take a look at. How many cups of tea did you go through while watching this? On my side, 2. Any thoughts or feelings on the games in this list? Please let me know in the comments. Loved them, hate them, lay it on me. Just let me get some more tea first. If you are still here and found this video helpful, entertaining, or just good to watch, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me out. Thank you for watching.